What's up, everybody? It's your boy P from Loud Pack Boxing, and today I got another special guest, like always, Coach Shawn Robinson. He's the father of some of the best talent coming out the DMV area right now, Demrobinsonboyz. Welcome to the show, Shawn.
I appreciate the invitation, and I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just off the rip, man, like, why boxing for the boys?
Why boxing? Because boxing basically is one of the best and toughest sports I can put my boys in that kind of resembles life itself. It's a one-on-one sport, just like life is one-on-one. You know, you're born alone and you got to deal with your problems alone, and it can sometimes knock you down. And it's this that you got to get back up. So boxing teaches all the fundamentals of life preparation. So if they can deal with boxing, they can deal with anything that comes along in life itself.
I absolutely agree with that, man, because that's how I look at it. It's really the only sport that I watch, and for all those reasons you just said, you know what I'm saying? So I can dig it. Now I read you had a stepdaughter who was in the boxing too a little bit. She kind of grew out of it, and then the boys came. Is that how it started?
Well, it all started with my daughter, my daughter, still my daughter. She's 21 now. But I had her in it, Candace. I had Muhammad, and I had Ibrahim. But they started even before boxing. They was into martial arts for about 3 years, and then once we was in York, Pennsylvania for about 6 years, and then around 2011 we moved back to Baltimore, and then they was representing in York, Pennsylvania with the karate, with the martial arts, with Matt Trimmer, Sensei Trimmer. Then we got into boxing with Antoine Dorm, who's still in York, PA right now as we speak. We're about to go there tomorrow to get some sparring. So they initially started with Antoine, just the basic going to after school program, learning how to throw 1-2 punch or whatever. Candace, Ibrahim, Muhammad. Musa was still like a little baby, so he wasn't really grinding at that time with the boxing thing. But once we moved back to Baltimore, I got them into boxing heavily, took them out of martial arts. And then Candace basically, she was representing for a long time. And then when she won her first Olympic nationals in around 2016, she stopped. It was a lot going on, we had our ups and down battles and stuff, but yeah, she stopped, man. It hurt me to my heart when she stopped.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
Now I read that you actually have a gym at the house that you work with the boys, and they actually prefer that as opposed to Charm City Boxing or just any other of the gyms that's in Baltimore. How do you feel about it? Do you feel more effective at home as opposed to working in the gym and the other distractions, I guess, to come along with that?
I mean, we have a makeshift gym in the basement. I prefer sometimes to be in my basement. My boys do too. But at the same time, I prefer to be like I have a gym that we train at. It's called Charm City Boxing Gym. I have the keys to the gym and everything. So
okay.
Anytime I need to use the gym, all I gotta do is just go to the gym. At any day, any hours of the day is at my leisure. So I do have access. I'm grateful for. But at times it is a lot more convenient being at home. But we in the house now during this pandemic, we in the house too much. So it's like, yeah, we got to get out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they driving me nuts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they in school, at home. We ain't never used to being so home so long. It's like, yeah, we got to get out. So I mean, I've been trying my best to get more outside to the gym, because it's just so much more convenient being in the house. Even with me, I get complacent. So it's like, yeah, I got to get out. That's what we're known for. We're known for traveling, road warriors. We always on the road. Like tomorrow, we going to York, Pennsylvania to get some work. I can't wait to look forward to going out just the traveling again, you know. And a couple of months ago, maybe about a month and a half ago, we went to Kentucky, like a 9-hour drive down to Kentucky for about 2 days, and then we stayed, and then we came back. So, but yeah, you know, my makeshift gym is convenient, but at the same time, we prefer to be in the gym because my boys need to be around different attitudes, environments, circumstances, and situations and stuff. Being home sometimes is just too comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ain't no place like home, but sometimes you need to get that extra work. And, you know, just like you say, being around other bodies, other fighters, and, you know, just getting into that mode. I get it, you know. Now I still think it's like impressive keeping all four of them like set in boxing because like you said, boxing is a very disciplined sport. You know what I'm saying? And young kids want to have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want to do, you know, all the things the kids are doing. And especially in a place like Baltimore, it's a lot going on. And the kids really need something to focus on besides the streets because the streets, it'll suck you up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is that something that you thought about? You know, let me give my boys something to keep them away from all this nonsense that's going on.
And you know, growing up without a father, growing up in Baltimore has taught me, you know, a lot. So I just basically made the sacrifice of, you know, me and my wife, we've been married for 20 years. And coming from a situation where me and my wife never had a father, grew up from a broken home, it made me more dedicated. It made me more determined to not have my children be brought up in those type of circumstances. So, you know, I'm used to working. I'm used to always being the one that's out and about, coming home. By the time they home from school, I'm at work. But you know, in the beginning, initially, my wife, she wasn't working, I was working, and then by the time they home from school, I'm at work, putting in double sometimes. But my wife once told me once they get older, they're going to need me or more around. So I had to dedicate my time between once they get out of school, making sure that I'm home so they can have something to look forward to, you know, outside of just your average going to school, coming home and doing nothing. And my children are used structure. They used to structure martial arts for 4 years and then boxing for the last, 8 years. So they used to structure. So if I'm not home providing that structure, they're not going to get it nowhere else outside of that being out in the street. So I wasn't going to let them be lost, caught up in the streets, caught up with girlfriends and stuff. It's okay to have a friend. I always tell my children, my sons now, because my oldest is 19. I can see already I'm losing him a little bit. I'm trying to will him back in. You know,
look, that's the toughest fight of them all, right there.
Yes. I'm battling with my oldest right now. Right now, my oldest kind of stepped down from boxing. Not that he stepped down, but he kind of said that he sees more potential in Muhammad. So he wants to help me being a coach, an assistant coach. And that's another battle that I've lost. Well, not lost, but I'm battling, trying to, because I done put so many years in with my oldest son.
Abraham.
And yeah, you know, and when he told me, when we was going to Kentucky like a month and a half ago, he sent a text to my wife saying that he don't have it in him no more. And that hurt. And we driving to Kentucky. He had the heart to tell me. He had to tell my wife through a text. So she had to call me up while we on our way to Kentucky. And I'm like, wow, you know, so I had a long, heartfelt discussion with my son, with my oldest. And I understand, you know, he ain't never had no prom. He never had all these average things that usually, you know, your average kids, your average children get to experience. But they always had a childhood, though. You know, me and my wife always made sure we engaged with, we went camping, we went to the movies, we still do. We've been to amusement parks all the time. So, we've always engaged them and made sure that they had a wonderful childhood, a wonderful experience of just doing family-oriented things, camping all the time. Um, but I mean, I understand too that he wants a break. So I'm hoping that he just needs this break, this little time out for a minute, but don't lose a minute. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't. I'm praying that I don't lose him because 19 years old, he was going to be the first to turn pro. But now Muhammad kind of like he's seen, how heartbroken I was when I lost Candace. And now he's seeing the disappointment that I have in my faith, having Ibrahim not training right now. So he just took it upon himself to say, you know what, I got this. So right now it's just man Muhammad working, and right now hoping that Ibrahim step back in it. So I'm just giving him time, and I don't want to lose him. So I don't want to force him either.
How important is that though to like make sure the kids don't get burnt out, because it is so rigorous. I mean, you're training pretty much all the time, and I mean, like you say, young kids do want to have a life, but it's important to give them other activities so they don't get burnt out on the boxing. You think?
Yeah, it's important. Balance is the key, and because I'm not the one that's going in the ring. I have never boxed before, I I played basketball throughout my years of school, high school, juniors, varsity, and I know the dedication that it made me to engage in regards to wanting to, I guess, gravitate to something and look forward to something. I remember, like I tell my sons all the time, I remember back in the day when it was cold out, people from around my way would hear me hitting these chain basketball goal. You could hear that the whole basketball thing was chained, and you can hear it all the time when the ball hits the rim. And I'm out there in the cold sometimes because I wanted to make the team. So understanding how dedicated I was, and I understood what it took in regards to being out in the cold, being out where, when the coach, I'm looking at myself hitting a free throw to win the game. I tried to just instill that in them. And at the same time, I understand that I'm not the one that's in the ring. So if my son don't have it in him, it would lose me more so if I put him into boxing where his heart is not in it and he get hurt by it. I wouldn't be able to live with that. So I would rather for him to come to me and say, what, I'm ready, versus, man, you get your ass back out there. I done put too much, me and my wife, me and your mother done put too much time in, gave up too much money and made too many sacrifices, versus my pride and my ego. So, I mean, it's very important for me to be able to just give him that break, and not have him get so burned out to the point where I'm forcing him to do it. And then all of a sudden he get hurt, get knocked out, and then he might not even get up from it, or he might not ever step out of the ring the same. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
He's a human. He's my son first, and I got to do what's right as a father versus a coach. But my coaching has to step back. And my father, instincts got to kick in, because I love my son, and I will always be a father before I'll be a coach.
Are you nervous when your boy's in the ring?
I'm always nervous, man. I'm more I'm more nervous than anything. Like usually I can't eat. I don't have no appetite, because I'm just like focused. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a whole nother type of anxiety that I've never dealt with. I'm kind of getting used to it because I've dealt with it for so long. I had my daughter, and I had all four of my boys. Then I got my little youngest. But it's like after one goes, and then I got to get all wired up again for the next one until they get done. And then I got to get wired up again. So it's another ending story. You know what I'm saying? But once it's all said and done, whether they win or lose, hopefully that they win, I can eat. I'm ready to grub. I'm ready to kick my feet up now, because, that hard part is over. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always nervous, man. That's nervousness will never go away, no matter how many times we do it.
I don't think it would be normal if a person wasn't nervous and their boys in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For sure.
especially that they're getting older now. You know,
Right.
punches are getting harder.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How happy would you be, man, if Muhammad went on and became a world champion? What is that the final goal?
The
Any of
final,
your boys, not just Muhammad, any of the boys, but you said Muhammad is the closest one to
yeah.
turning pro right now. So how happy would that make you, man?
It would make me happy. It would just make me more just proud, you know, for the simple fact that we never gave up. You know, it's been a struggle. You know, it's been a struggle getting support. It's been a struggle of having people doubt me as a father, as a coach, because I never boxed before. I don't know nothing about boxing. That's what people would say, you know. But as the years went on, I'm not the type of person that just get into something without doing my research, without putting in the work, you know, without getting my hands dirty. So I mean, I think I've paid my dues, and learned what I've learned needed to learn, and even be able to humble myself and get involved with certain coaches that can teach me. I've learned from like Calvin Ford. I've learned from so many boxing coaches here in Baltimore. I'm even working with Gary Russell Jr., Gary Russell Sr. You know, he's my mentor. I've asked him a lot of questions because he has 4 sons that's on that thing. So I'm always trying my best to constantly evolve and dedicate myself so I can be the best father and coach. Um, and maybe, you know, hopefully we will. You know, Muhammad will win a world title. It will be a humbling experience because this is what we dedicated ourselves to. You know what I'm saying? And not just being able to win a world championship, but just to come from the basement on up, you know, fighting all the obstacles, fighting all the naysayers. You know, it was times where we struggled, you know, lights was off at one point, you know, because we couldn't do, you know, we ain't had the money to do, I couldn't send them to every single tournament. So I mean, yeah, you know, it will be very vivid, you know, to be able to have that experience. But at the same time, it will be a humbling experience too, you know, because you know I'm not the type of father, man, that would tell my boys to keep their, you know, head up in the clouds. I always tell them to remember where they come from. So no matter how hard we go up, always remember to kiss the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Because you know we always can go back to that.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah, man, just boxing today, it's a lot of money in the game. For one, you know, it didn't used to be that way. Who are some of the guys you like in the game today?
you talking about the boxers?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Charlo brothers. I like a lot of the, the fighters that has their fathers by their side, like Teofimo Lopez. I
Yeah.
like Lomachenko, even Calvin and Tank. You know, even though Tank is not his son, but he raised him like one.
Yeah, they got a
Um,
good relationship.
yeah, so I mean, and plus us being around because we used to train with Calvin. My boys used to train. My Calvin knows my boys,
Yeah.
um, and just seeing that relationship, um, and then you know seeing like Devin Haney and his father, uh, Danny Garcia and his father,
You see it a
uh,
lot in boxing. You really do.
right? You know, so Barry Russell's, you know,
Right.
the Russell brothers. It just it encourages me, you know, to believe and to know that I can do it. And it gives me the motivation because a lot of those fighters, fathers, they were even just like, nah, you never fought before, whatever. What do you know? You know what I'm saying? Zab Judah and his father, you know. Um, so I mean, you know, those type of fighters that has their fathers in their corners, I can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of coaches who don't have sons in the boxing game, they will say, well, if I've never boxed before, what do I know? I don't know what it means to take a punch, and I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it means to to get knocked down and have to get back up and I don't, you know what I mean? But those fathers who's in the game, they've never been through that experience, but guess what? They will gravitate towards those people who do know, and they will gain that understanding or give someone else an opportunity to help their son understand. And that's the type of father I am. If I don't know everything, I say, guess what, son? I'll be right back. Here's the brother that does know. Here's a coach that you can also take from. You know what I mean? So we're a team instead of just me trying to figure it all out. Because I don't know everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Well, I ain't gonna hold you up too long, Shawn. I just wanted to get you in and shine some light on them Robinson boys. You know what I'm saying? They up and coming, definitely out of the DMV area. Where can the people find y'all at?
We got Demrobinsonboyz on Instagram, DEMROBINSONBOYZ. We got Shawn Robinson. That's my Facebook name. You know, you could just see G Up Nation, G dash UPNATION on Facebook. And usually I'm always posting stuff, right? Because we're getting ready for the Nationals next month. So after the Nationals, you know, be looking for Muhammad to move to the next level. So everything that we do, I usually post stuff on a regular. You know, I give it a little absence, you know, because I want people to miss us. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm always posting stuff after that too.
All right, dope, man. Well, Shawn, I appreciate you stopping there, man. Hopefully we can get you back in and you can give us an update on Ibrahim and Muhammad and the younger guys too. You know what I mean? But definitely like to get you back on and keep us updated on what's going on. But I appreciate
next time I have my boys with me. I mean, they downstairs playing their games and stuff. See, I have to let them.
Why? Yeah, for sure, for sure. We get them next time. Yeah. We get them next time.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure. But that's all I really got, man. Like I said, I just appreciate you taking out the time, and we're gonna catch back up on the next one.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for thank you for the opportunity, you know.
For sure, for sure. Take it easy, bro.
All right, you too.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.